let's chat about those masts for a minute. There are two ways that you can manage your mast. One is to leave it in, and depending on where you store your boat, they may have what's called mast up storage. Lots of yards do. Other places require all of the masts to come down and be stored in a rack. Find out what your boat storage area requires of you, and you make your decisions on what you're going to do for your mast storage. If you are putting your mast into a rack for the winter, it is a great opportunity to inspect your mast and look for any damage or chafe that's happened over your boating season. So have a look, eyeball it. Your natural spidey senses will kick in. If you see something that's got a crack or a little bit of a bend to it that shouldn't be there, chances are that it's a bit of damage and you should probably get it replaced or at least looked at by a professional to make sure that it's going to be okay for the next season. Then, after you've had a good inspection of your mast, you're going to remove as much of the rigging as you can so it will fit in the rack. That means take the spreaders off, take the radar dome off, take the jumpers off, take all the bits that make your mast stick out and be in the way, take them off. Usually spreaders are best stored on the boat, and then you'll know where to find them in the spring. But when you're taking all of these components off, it's yet again another great opportunity to give a visual inspection. You're also going to want to label everything so that you can put it back together in the spring. There's nothing more exciting than standing there going, is this a spreader from the port side or the starboard side? Because they look the same. But a little piece of shrink wrap tape is a great way to label things. You can write right on the shrink wrap tape with a Sharpie marker or a ballpoint pen, and you can label your component, and then in the spring it peels off, even if it's with a bit of effort, but it peels off and it goes away. And you know where all of your pieces need to go back together again. Once you've removed your spreaders, removed your jumpers, removed your radar, removed all of these big clunky components, you're going to want to tidy it all up. You don't need to actually take the standing rigging off, the wires and things like that and the ropes, but what you need to do is keep it tidy and bundle it up. I don't recommend wrapping the mast up with any kind of skid wrapping, plastic, saran wrappy type stretchy plastic stuff. And the reason for that is you need air circulation. What you need to do instead is protect the elements. Halyards, lines, you're going to make sure they've got a stopper knot in them, and you're going to pull them to the top of the mast. And then at the base of the mast, coil everything up. And sometimes you can tuck it inside the mast, or sometimes you'll just wrap it put it in a plastic bag and wrap it up at the base of the mast. Some people like to remove their halyards. Their halyards might be terribly expensive, or it's just not in their budget. If a squirrel decides to eat a halyard, if you're going to do that, you're going to pull a little chase line through, just a little thin piece of line, and have that there ready for in the spring to put your halyards back in. Your rigging, your standing rigging, the wires or the rod rigging, you're going to want to tidy them against the mast. You can go back to your handy shrink wrap tape. You can use spare bits of line to tidy it up and tie it to the mast, but you just want it all tidy so that when the next person puts their mast in next to yours and they give it a little push, it's all in good shape and ready for the spring. The last thing you're going to want to do is cover any holes. Again, shrink wrap tape is really handy for this because when you pull it off, it comes off quite clean. At the base of the mast, you've got potentially a big opening. If you've taken other things off, you might have little openings, and you want to keep the critters out from nesting in there during the winter. It is amazing what they will do. If you put your boom on deck even, or if you put your boom in the rack, same thing. If you've got an opening at the end, at the non-gooseneck end, they'll want to make a home of it. So a little bit of shrink wrap tape to cover it up tends to discourage them. This stuff's really tough. Let me tell you, if a squirrel's going through shrink wrap tape, there's nothing you can do to stop them. They're going and making a home in there anyways, but this is a good effort to keep them out. So protect any of your openings in whatever way you can from those little critters getting in there. And then in the spring, hopefully your mast will just need undoing all the lines and reconnecting everything, and you'll be ready to put things up.